still filtering in at the back because there was a queue for the very strong Italian coffee out there, but that's fine. I have a skeleton crew assembled at the moment, but I'm sure one or two more are about to drift in and sit down here as well. So let me introduce you, before I get started, to a team of people who will be of great use to you, hopefully, if you can stay for the teas and the cakes afterwards. So in order, just here is Deb Jones, who is our Deputy Head Pastoral, part of our senior leadership team, Clive Agent, who is our Deputy Head Academic. Next to Clive is Dee Saran, our Director of Learning and Teaching. Next to Dee is Mr Dempsey, who is the school's bursar. Next to Mr Dempsey is Miss Greenlees, who is our head of Year 7, and so will be an integral part of your life as and when you join Dubai College. Next to Miss Greenlees, Mr Woolley, who's the head of the whole of the lower school, and next to Mr Woolley is Mrs Julia Jago, who is our registrar, who I'm sure many of you know already. After this, as I say, on the patch of grass in that sort of main courtyard that you'll have walked around this afternoon, we'll be laying on teas and coffees and cakes and biscuits and things like that. And it will be a very open and informal opportunity for you to ask any questions that you have at an individual level. But now is the formal part of the afternoon where I will speak to you. So, ladies and gentlemen, mums and dads, boys and girls, one or two mystery shoppers who I'm aware of, interested members of the public and any other waifs and strays who happen to have drifted into Dubai College this afternoon, you are most welcome. In 1976, His Highness Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum instructed a young idealistic teacher by the name of Tim Charlton to build a school on a piece of land which at the time was known as Plot B141. The original mission statement of that school was to provide within the Emirates of Dubai a modern secondary education in the British style to the highest academic standards for those families who were on short or long-term contracts and for those UAE children whose parents wished them to experience that kind of education. That was almost 40 years ago, and the school, if you hadn't already guessed, is what is now known as Dubai College. So remaining faithful to that original mission of our founding headmaster, the staff at Dubai College have a very clear and unambiguous vision for this school: to be the best British school overseas in the world, underpinned by 4 pillars of sporting, creative, philanthropic and academic endeavour. The qualifier best, I will stop and introduce you to our Deputy Headmaster, Mr Hunter. The qualifier best in that vision statement is there deliberately left open, so that every student, every member of staff, every teacher, every caretaker, every receptionist can ask themselves, what would it mean for us to be working in the best British school overseas in the world? Now, by many objective measures and accolades, the students and staff at this school could already claim to be, if not the best, among the very best British schools overseas in the world. Our students' achievements in public examinations are the best in the Middle East and North Africa, and bar 2 schools somewhere in Asia, and I suspect it's Shanghai, but I'm going to find out. They are the best examination results in the world for members of the Council of British International Schools. Last year, we were also voted UAE Sports School of the Year on account of the outstanding track record which our netball and rugby teams in particular have sustained over such a long period of time. We raised 140,000 dirhams for charity. Our annual arts and design exhibition showcased yet again the wealth of our students' talent beyond their years. And you may notice in all this that I keep referring to the students, because we honestly believe that our students are the embodiment of what makes this place special. Yes, we have, and I am very lucky to work with some absolutely outstanding, committed, vocationally driven teaching staff. Yes, we have a fantastic team of support staff, but it's the relaxed and respectful relationship that exists between the students and the staff which I think embodies the magic of this place. I hope that during the course of the past 2 hours you've come to appreciate something of the feel of Dubai College. So this morning, as ever, I walked the route to check that everything you were going to see was actually there. And I forget sometimes when I'm stuck in my office how absolutely beautiful our campus is. And I hope you saw that. There's plenty of space, there's plenty of greenery. We could fit 3,000 or 4,000 students on this site, but we don't do it because that's not what we're about. And it's something I think about that feel of the place which helps to produce the happy, well-adjusted young people that gave you the tours this afternoon. But I've got a little bit ahead of myself because before I tell you what we're all about and do the classic Headmaster marketing speech, I need to start by telling you what we are not. So, we are a not-for-profit school. Every dirham we charge, we reinvest back into the school, the facilities, the staff, the students, and the opportunities that we make available. We don't have a massively developed marketing department full of slick ad campaigns. In fact, the only print advert you'll ever see for Dubai College was possibly the one you saw in the 7 days over the last couple of weeks. The British not-for-profit schools in Dubai, and I include in this us, Jess, Desk, and Jebel Ali, we all have historically acted not out of self-interest or profit or maximising margins or anything like that, but exclusively to maximise pupils' life chances. We don't have shareholders or investors to pay. I don't get a bonus every year. The students seem to do remarkably well and far better than they did the year before. We're not about that. And the outcomes are not just academic either. I'm talking about the sporting, the philanthropic and the creative outcomes that come out of this place every year. Our only incentive to get better is because we believe in education in the broadest sense of the word. What else aren't we? Well, we're not for everybody. So 2 years ago, we did a complete parent survey. When we asked our parents which aspect of the school would they warn prospective parents about, they said we were highly academic. And ironically, this was, or confusingly, paradoxically, this was both the best and the worst feature about this school for them. But you need to know it. But there's an old phrase which says that horses run faster when they run with faster horses. And when you put a bunch of very, very bright students, very talented students at sport and music together in one environment, they push each other onwards to do more, better, faster, more creative. They bounce off each other, they inspire one another, they encourage one another. And all of the stats show from the old grammar school system back in the UK that those students that end up in the grammar schools will perform better than those who don't. And essentially, this is something of the ethos of what we are. So this leads directly on to the thing which our parents also said you need to know about. It's something to do with the selectivity of the peer group. And it's not just academically selected. I really hope you enjoyed the tours that you were given this afternoon by our sixth form students. The reason we asked the students to give the tours is because we think that they are, for the most part, socially articulate and charming young adults. And repeatedly, parents tell us it's because of this peer group which they want their sons and daughters to grow up with that they chose Dubai College. So when I'm talking about selectivity, I'm not just talking about academic selectivity, I'm talking about the peer group that sons and daughters get in the school. But the one fact that you as parents and prospective students need to know is that Dubai College students aren't gifted or talented. They work very, very hard to achieve their outcomes. And this is one of the other things I was asked to tell you about. It means that students who have worked hard for a short period of time, perhaps through tuition, to get through the admissions test, do struggle when they get to the school, when they actually have to sustain that level of hard work and commitment for 7 full years, right the way out the other side. Now, I'm not going to stand here and say we don't advocate tuition. At times, it is absolutely the right thing to do. If you've not got to where you need to get to, for whatever reason, it could be poor quality teaching elsewhere, or simply a change between curriculums, then absolutely, yes, seek out tuition. But if you've had to seek out tuition specifically to get in, and it hasn't happened naturally through the hard work of sons and daughters and students, possibly you will struggle here. And I do need to be honest about that. What else aren't we? We're not new. Okay? As you would have seen from your tours, our classrooms, or some of them, are not the most modern. You hopefully saw the newly resurfaced tennis courts, the refloored sports hall, the state-of-the-art sixth form centre, the science block extension, the new pavilion, the new classrooms in B block. But juxtaposed to that, you will see our lovely, charming, ramshackle campus, which has been around now for 39 years, and we love it. However, now is actually an exciting time to join the college, because over the course of the next 5 years, we're about to embark upon a 5-year rolling refurbishment of the entire school. So every single classroom will be refurbished internally. We're going to construct a teaching and learning action research centre at the heart of the school. There's going to be a new performing arts centre, a second sports hall, a new administration block, and all of these are due for completion by the time that a new Year 7 who joins in September will have left the school. So anybody who joins Dubai College now should be reaping the benefits of this complete rebuild of the site. So it's a good time to join. So if these are all the things that we are not, then what indeed are we? Well, again, there's no real blueprint for a Dubai College student, but I believe that there are two main things really that underpin our students' success. And that is the school's focus on providing choice and on building character. I'm just going to talk you through both of those now. As with any good school, we firmly believe that our job as educators is to maximise pupils' life chances, as I said before, to give them choice with what they can do with their future. For those of you who've read The Road to Character by David Brooks, and if you haven't, I strongly recommend that you do, you'll be familiar with what I'm about to say, but he says it very well. The way that education creates choice is by cultivating two types of virtue: the eulogy virtues and the CV virtues. Now, the CV virtues are the ones that you would expect: the cracking GCSE results, the teamwork ability, the leadership, the musical accolades that you may get, your A-levels, the university that you go to, the things that you'll put on your CV to help you get your job. And Dubai College is probably most famous for this in terms of our academic outcomes. Our exam results rank us among the very top schools in the United Kingdom at both GCSE and A-level, and we've been moving steadily up those ranks since about 1991. But there is an expectation that Dubai College students and Dubai College should get those results because we select the academically brightest. And we do fulfill that responsibility. But the CV virtues are only so good. They only get you so far in life. They'll get you to university, and then from university into your job. Once you're in your job, you've got life ahead of you, and that's a little bit more complicated. Possibly 50 to 60 working years of life. And that's a lot of what Dubai College is about building that character for life. So, we champion the eulogy virtues. The eulogy virtues are the things that you'll be remembered for at the end of your life. Hopefully, no one is going to stand at the front of my funeral and say, "Ah yes, Mike Lambert, he got some great GCSE results. Ah yes, Mike Lambert, he got some great A-levels." If somebody did that, I would be mortified, literally and metaphorically, at that point in time. Thanks, Julia. I want someone to stand up at the end of my life and to talk about my character and to talk about what I've contributed to the world, and that's what we champion here at DC. You'll see from, excuse everybody, you'll see from the slides behind the SLT that there are 4 interconnected foundations: academic, sporting, creative and philanthropic, and I will say about 5 more times before I get to the end of the speech. But we believe that their combination leads to the growth and development of character that we're talking about. We want our pupils to be all-rounded, connected, interested, individuals who champion their own and other people's mental, physical and spiritual well-being as much as they do their academic attainment. We want our pupils to learn grit and determination, resilience, the ability to bounce back, and they get all of this from the sport which we offer. And we are good at sport. Very, very good at sport. We are in fact, at both senior rugby and netball, the best sports school in the UAE at the moment, and I'm sure there will be some who will contest and be hot on our heels. And girls and boys sitting here today, if you are good at sport, you should not have to compromise. If you are above average intelligence and you love sport,